Welcome back. So today I'm going to do a little bit more testing with our fantastic Gears 3D system here at Archerfield, and namely I'm going to be testing shaft length. So what I'm going to do here is I've got a Callaway Paradym standard line, and I'm using the Rifle 105 gram stiff shafts, and I've got them in standard length, which is 37 inches, half an inch longer, which is 37.5, and then an inch long, which is 38 inches. I'm going to hit 5 balls with each, and I'm going to see what shows up. So what the key variables to look out for, and ultimately how important is shaft length and what's its influence. Let's take a look. Okay, welcome to Gears Land once again. So here we've got myself using the Rifle 105 in the standard length, and here I've got myself initially using the 37.5, which is the slightly half an inch longer. And to be honest, my thoughts here when we started this, I thought when, in essence, that the longer the club, that inherently makes it more upright. So if I bring this into stage left, we can see here that when you've got a club that's more upright, that kind of points the face a little bit left. So longer the club, that tends to happen. And adversely, if the shorter the club, then tends to flatten the lie, all things being equal. So I thought longer the club, more upright, probably going to go more left, probably a bit more club head speed. So really interestingly, when we delve into the data, I think the big thing that really showed up was the fact that if we have a look at the overall shaft movement, so this movement here, we've got shaft deflection, and in particular shaft droop. We'll pay attention to that for a minute. So shaft droop is the downward motion of the shaft. We've got 29 millimeters, but then if we have a look over here, the slightly longer shaft is drooping a little bit more. So deflection's about on as even, but we've got quite a bit more path, or shaft droop, so 36.9. So okay, that's great. But what does that look like? So when we actually have a look from the target, shaft droop is in essence, so now flip reversed it just to confuse you, but we can see here that over here on the right, it's this downward bend of the shaft. So we see that kind of gap between the zero line, which is the straight line, and the shaft. You can see here that the blue is quite a bit more there, so quite a lot of shaft motion. So when we have a look at the actual kind of impact, so then I put the impact kind of lie here, we can actually see that that droop that's caused by the center of gravity of the shaft trying to align with the center of gravity of the face, that's actually pulling the lie down quite significantly, so kind of 4 degrees toe down. So instead of it being, as I thought, that all things being equal, it's going to go left, but it's actually going to send the ball a bit more right, which I thought was quite interesting. And also the same trend actually happened, so if we go back down the line, the same trend happened when I got the 38-inch shaft into my hand. So if we pull up this one here, and we can have a look there, so we go to impact, we can see that the overall shaft motion now, when we zoom in, is 40 millimeters, resulting in, interestingly, a lie that, I probably self-corrected here, that wasn't actually as toe down, but that's quite a lot of shaft motion there. That's 40 millimeters. So again, what else is that going to cause? So what actually happened to, most importantly, probably the ball flying. So when I pull in the TrackMan data from the session, we can clearly see a winner. The white here is the standard length Rifle 105, swinging at 86, carrying at 171, pretty good dispersion there. Then even though with the slightly longer shaft, a bit longer, got more club head speed, but the ball speed dipped, and then again the dispersion slightly worse as well. So that's not exactly the formula that I'm after. And then all things went haywire when I got the inch long shaft. Was longer, ball speed was up, but it was like firework night. Probably makes sense considering I'm a bit of a hobbit at 5'6", and probably an inch long is probably going to suit somebody that's about a foot taller than me. Not jealous at all, but anyway. When we have a look at, well, why is that? So even though we're swinging the club, the slightly shorter club's a bit short, it's not getting as much club head speed. When we have a look at the overall strike quality, we can see here that it's not my best, not my finest hour, but we can see there that pretty significantly better than the rest when we talk about centered strikes. So this is a half inch longer off the toe, and then inch longer, well, there you go, same again. So strike quality dipped, which then meant ball speed down because I'm not hitting the sweet spot. So I think that explains the fact that that excess shaft motion caused by the droop, you start to lose the strike quality. So again, I think the real important thing here is that when we have a look at the shaft length, all things unfortunately aren't all equal. You've got to test it. So yeah, really important stuff. So there you have it. So I think one of the major outcomes from that little bit of an experiment was to basically see that obviously the longer the shaft, it really influenced strike location. I think that's the number one variable it influenced. So kind of makes sense that obviously the longer the lever, the longer the shaft, the more that basically the overall flex of the shaft is going to go up as well, isn't it? So I think it's really interesting when we have a look at kind of what we might well perceive from a static standpoint. When we look at things dynamically, it can be very, very different. So hope you found that interesting. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please, as always, send me any questions that you might have, and see you soon.